After the age of 80, life takes on a quieter, more reflective rhythm. The world doesn't move around you the way it once did. Instead, it seems to move past you, faster, louder, and often without looking back. For many seniors, this is when brutal truths about aging and loneliness begin to surface. Not just the physical aches or the slowing steps, but the emotional and social shifts that can leave you feeling invisible, forgotten, and painfully alone. But this video isn't meant to scare you. It's here to speak honestly about 7 realities that every senior must understand, so that you can move through them with grace, power, and dignity. Let's begin with the first truth. People forget you quicker than you ever imagined. There was a time when your phone buzzed with birthday wishes, dinner invitations, and family updates. But now, you might find yourself checking your phone just to make sure it still works. The silence is deafening. The world doesn't pause because you've grown older. People, especially younger ones, become consumed with their own lives, children, careers, distractions. They love you, sure, but they don't reach out the way they used to. And that can leave a hollow space inside you. It's not personal, it's just life. But in that silence, you're left with an important task: to become your own companion, to find peace in solitude. Because when you learn to enjoy your own company, the quiet is no longer a punishment, it becomes your sanctuary. Next comes the grief of friendships that fade or disappear. By 80, many of your lifelong friends may have already passed. Others have moved away, been claimed by illness, or simply drifted apart. You think of someone, go to call them, and then remember, they're no longer there. The loss is overwhelming. It's not just the people you've lost. It's the laughter, the memories, the deep familiarity that made life feel full. But the truth is, those relationships were real. And because they were real, their loss is real too. Grief is the price of love. And you've loved deeply. That matters. Even so, don't give up on new connections. It's never too late to find companionship again. Even in the simplest hello to a neighbor or a shared story with someone at the community center. Even after 80, new friendships can blossom if your heart stays open. Then comes the slow, painful realization that you've become invisible in society. You walk into a room and people talk around you, not to you. You offer a thought and it's politely ignored. You once held attention, maybe even admiration, but now it feels like you're fading into the background. This invisibility isn't imagined, it's real, and it's cruel. Society doesn't often value age the way it should, but here's a powerful truth. You do not need to wait for someone to give you permission to be seen. Share your stories. Write that memoir. Volunteer. Mentor. Express your truth, your wisdom, your presence. You've lived a long life. Don't let anyone erase you now. Reclaim your place in the world by refusing to be silent. Another brutal reality is that most people simply don't understand what you're going through. They can't. You try to explain the fatigue that comes from simply existing in a body that's aged. You try to speak of the fear that creeps in when you think of being left alone, or the sorrow of seeing the world you once knew change so completely. And they nod, distracted, well-meaning but clueless. You start to feel emotionally exiled, like you're speaking a language no one understands. This emotional loneliness cuts deep. But take heart, there are others who feel exactly as you do. Seek them out. Whether it's through a support group, a faith community, or even an online space for seniors, find people who get it. And when you can't find anyone, be brave enough to pour it out. Write it down, speak it aloud, pray it. Your truth deserves to be heard, even if only by yourself. One of the most quietly devastating parts of aging is the rise of regret. As the decades stack behind you, your mind starts to wander to old crossroads. Times you didn't take the chance or speak your heart or forgive. The regrets don't scream. They whisper in the early mornings and echo in sleepless nights. You think, I should have, or what if I had? But here's the thing. Regret is proof that you've lived, that you've cared deeply, and you are not too old to heal. Make the call, write the letter, say the words that were once too heavy. You can still find peace. The past can't be changed, but it can be made right even now, even at 80. Time becomes a strange thing after 80. Days rush by, weeks vanish, and yet your body feels slower than ever. You wake up with intentions, but by noon, the energy is gone. The disconnect between what your mind wants to do and what your body allows can be maddening. You remember being fast, sharp, tireless. Now, simple tasks take planning and patience. But aging isn't defeat, it's transition. Life asks you to slow down, not to punish you, but to invite you to experience things differently. There is beauty in this pace if you allow it. Notice the sunrise, savor your tea, listen to the birds, write a letter instead of rushing a message. Don't fight time, flow with it. You've earned the right to go slow. And finally, we come to the most painful truth. Loneliness is inevitable. The house is quieter. The nights are longer. Even surrounded by others, you can feel the ache of being alone. Not just physically, but spiritually. The world has moved on, and you've been left behind. This loneliness isn't a flaw. It's a reality of a life well lived. But loneliness does not have to mean emptiness. This time can be a return to yourself. It can be sacred. You can fill it with meaning through prayer, music, writing, gratitude, purpose. Think of loneliness as space, not absence. A space in which you can discover who you've become after all these years. You've given so much of yourself to others. Now is the time to give something back to your own soul. Before we part today, I want to speak to the soul behind the screen. The one who's walked through decades of change, love, loss, and quiet strength. You are not just someone who has aged, you are someone who has endured. And that matters. Life after 80 isn't a footnote. It's a full chapter, sometimes painful, often lonely, but also deeply meaningful. You carry stories that no one else can tell. You've learned lessons that no book could ever teach. And even now you are still becoming. You are still evolving. It's okay to feel lonely. It's okay to feel forgotten sometimes. But please don't let that convince you that you don't matter, because you do. This space, this channel, is here to remind you of that. You're not invisible here. You're not an afterthought. You're not too late for connection, for reflection, for healing. Maybe this video brought up some emotions, tears maybe, or a sense of relief. That's good. That means you're still feeling deeply. That means your heart is still open, still alive. Don't close it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. Let's connect. There are thousands of others who are walking this same path with you, feeling many of the same things, but thinking they're alone. You reaching out might be exactly what someone else needs to feel seen. And if you're younger, listening in because you care about your parents, your grandparents, or your future, thank you. Carry this knowledge with you. Don't wait until it's too late to visit, to call, to ask questions, and truly listen to the elders in your life. They are living libraries. One day, you will wish you'd asked more, lingered longer, loved deeper. So here's what I'll leave you with today. Age is not your enemy. Time is not your thief. These are your companions. They shape you, test you, soften you. Let the quiet of this stage in life become your wisdom, not your prison. Let loneliness become your teacher, not your captor. And above all, know that you are still worthy of joy, of purpose, of being heard.